Hi there, welcome to the Gardens and Graveyard channel. My name is Charisma and today we're meeting outside and we're going to do just a really quick, simple project, and I'm going to protect just a small handful of plants as we are experiencing a little bit of frost this evening, and for the next 3 days we're expected to be somewhere between 30 and 32 degrees at night and warming up to about 41 to 45 degrees in the daytime. And then our 10-day forecast after those 3 days is the evening temperatures won't go below 35, and we still don't go above 45 either in the daytime. And then after that, we'll warm up and it'll start raining, and our low temps will be in the upper 30s, lower 40s, and warming up to like 48, 50 degrees in the afternoons. So I grow on the Oregon coast in a zone 9A, and I specifically do not grow plants that I have to be like worried about with frost. We don't get a lot of frost. Just take a walk with me here. We don't get a lot of frost, and when we do, it's late January, between late January and early March. And usually what happens is we get false springs and then we get an ice storm. And so the danger in that is our plants will start putting off a whole bunch of beautiful buds and they'll be ready to bloom, and then the ice takes it and we lose all of our blossoms. And there's really not much I could do about that. I'm not going to go around almost an acre of property and cover every shrub that has buds on it. It's just not practical. But I have just a few plants right now that I can do a tiny bit of protection with, and I'm going to turn the camera around. I'll share those plants with you and why I'm protecting them opposed to like all the plants in my garden. So over here we have a collection plant. This one was up on my porch, so that's what I was up there getting. So we have a collection of small shrubs and perennials and some evergreens that we've been collecting through the winter that we will be planting out this spring. And I just want to make sure that they don't get hit by the frost and killed before we get them in the ground. I'm not overly worried about them, but I just want to make sure that they just have a tiny bit of protection. So all I'm going to do is move them down underneath this table and pot them. It's called potting up, and it just means that we're going to get these pots touching everywhere we can, and they're going to keep themselves insulated that way. And that's how the nurseries will take care of their plants in the winter time. So I'm just gonna pop them all down here close to the ground where it stays a little bit warmer, not up in the air and in the elements where they're just exposed to the wind. All right, I'm going to continue doing that. Okay, so I just took them off the plant stand and put them underneath the table there. A couple of them are too tall to go underneath, so we just put them down on the ground here, and the rest of them are just kind of snug in there. Now, if any of these plants were in containers or in the ground, I would not be going around and protecting them at all because they will survive a little bit of frost. I'm just a little worried about the frost hitting those cans where there's not a lot of insulation and protection. So now we're going to go into the backyard, and I have just a couple of bulbs that are a little bit tender that I want to protect. So we're going to do that. So right here I have 2 raised beds that are full of cannas, and I have this little container here of naked ladies. And both of those can be a little temperamental. And this canna actually pushed all this new growth in the last couple of weeks. So I might have to cut this down. I'm gonna try to just gently bend it. And what I'm gonna do is, I just have these windows that we have used in the past to create like a greenhouse effect on this bed. I'm gonna do the same kind of thing here. I'm just gonna protect these beds for the next few nights. And then I have a little dome that I could put up on that container. That is all I'm going to do, is just put these single pane windows right over the top. This guy got bent. I don't know if it'll pop back up. If not, I'll cut it. It's not typical for those to come up this early anyway, so I'm not worried about cutting it back. And then I have these like cupcake cake topper things that I picked up a couple of years ago, and I've used them for different kind of greenhouse type things. It's perfect for this situation. It just gives it a tiny bit of protection to not get nipped by the cold temperatures. And that's it. That's all that I'm gonna do as far as protecting the garden. I don't even own frost cloth because it's just not necessary where I'm at. And I really prefer to plant things that I don't have to baby, whether it's wintertime or summertime. So I'm really mindful of the types of things that I plant. And if I plant a tender perennial, I do it knowing that I might lose it, and I'm not gonna go out and try to save every single plant that's maybe a little too tender. Like, it's just, they have to be able to survive in my garden. And you know, I have hundreds and hundreds of plants, so I think I'm doing a pretty good job of being mindful of what is happy in this garden, no matter what the temperature is. So that's going to be it for today's video. I hope that you're staying warm wherever you are. I know that some of you have way colder environments than I do, that you're probably under a blanket of snow, you've been experiencing ice and all those things, and I hope you're staying warm and cozy, and you have a lot of really delicious herbal tea to drink. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.